This is the Mersey Sound, a volume of Penguin Modern Poets from 1967. It's got Roger McGough, Adrian Henri and Brian Patten in it. I bought this book in 1967. I've written my name in October 1967 inside, and I didn't realise, but I'd lent it to somebody who I knew vaguely when I was a student, and he'd never given it back to me, and I just assumed, well, if I remembered it at all, I thought it was hanging around somewhere in a pile of books in our house. But a couple of years ago, I had a package come through the post, and in it was this book and a little note saying, sorry I've hung on to it for so long, hope you've not missed it, or something to that effect. And this chap, Tom, had sought out my address through a kind of tenuous line of mutual acquaintances and sent it back to me with a jokey note. I'm glad he did, because this book, just the cover of it and the feel of it and the contents, evoked 1967 for me as much or more than the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. And the reason I've picked it up now is because I've just heard Roger McGough and Brian Patten in conversation and reading poems on the radio only an hour or so ago. So it encouraged me to seek out this book. I'm going to read one of the poems from here. There are a number in here that kind of are interesting to look at now and compared to reading them in 1967. Roger McGough's Let Me Die a Young Man's Death is obviously notably one, but this is another one. This is Brian Patten, and in this poem he just evokes things from my childhood so much, particularly the comics I used to read and Saturday morning pictures with the serials and the trailers and the sort of films that they showed for kids on Saturday mornings way back in the 1950s. So this is called Where Are You Now, Batman? Where are you now, Batman, now that Aunt Harriet has reported Robin missing, and Superman's fallen asleep in the sixpenny childhood seats? Where are you now that Captain Marvel's Shazam echoes around the auditorium? The magicians don't hear it, must all be deaf or dead. The purple monster who came down from the purple planet disguised as a man is wandering aimlessly about the streets with no way of getting back. Sir Galahad's been strangled by the incredible living trees, Zorro killed by his own sword. Black Hawk has buried the last of his companions and has now gone off to commit suicide in the disused hangars of innocence. The monster and the ape still fight it out in a room where the walls are continually closing in. Rocket Man's fuel tanks gave out over London. Even Flash Gordon's lost. He wanders among the stars, weeping over the woman he loved 7 universes ago. My celluloid companions, it's only a few years since I knew you. Something in us has faded. Has the terrible fiend, the ghastly adversary, Mr. Old Age, caught you in his deadly trap and come finally to polish you off, his machine gun dripping with years?